Who is determined to make it on his own terms.
If he says he's going to do something, he will find a way to do it. There will be no stopping him.
Enrique Iglesias was born to sin. But from the start, his famous pedigree cast a long shadow.
He had this mountain that he had to climb. His dad.
Against his father's wishes, Enrique dove headfirst into the biz, creating a family rift.
I didn't want anybody to with my dream.
And igniting a rivalry that played itself out on the American pop charts.
For the first time ever, a father and son are competing for the same award.
I think my dad and my brother are very competitive. Who doesn't want to be number one, you know?
I've always been the dark horse. I wasn't expected to accomplish anything.
Riding the wave of the Latin explosion,
I know you want me.
Enrique became an international sex symbol.
I want sex lessons definitely get a lot better.
These girls are hanging outside the window and hitting the window of the car. Papa, Papa, I love you. Nuts, chaotic.
But he saved his heart for only one.
All I can tell you is the first time I said, love you, I truly, truly meant it.
His romantic ballad shot him to the top of the charts. And in a time of need, he helped a wounded nation heal.
It's a love song. At the end, I think all we need now is love, you know, more than ever.
Enrique had it all. Until his rapid rise gave way to an even faster fall.
When you look for a hit record, it just doesn't happen. I was desperate. I was 100% desperate.
Now, Spain's most famous heartthrob talks about love, life, and his remarkable climb back to the top.
Yeah, I'm tape recording it.
I like feeling that pressure of having to prove people wrong.
This is Enrique Iglesias, the story behind the music. It's March 2011, and Enrique Iglesias is where he's most comfortable, among his fans, on a sold-out world tour.
You feel such a high when you're on the road, and there's such moments of great happiness. And no matter where I am, I want to give the fans the best show possible.
What's your name? Molly. Molly? How you doing, Molly?
Yes.
Backstage, Enrique takes time to meet two special fans, a young cancer patient and her friend.
How old are you, Molly?
8.
You're 8. They're both 8.
Little kids make an impression on you that just stays with you forever.
You want to take me? You want to come up and sing?
You said you would.
This is Molly. Nelly.
You look at them and you think, a little girl that's 8 years old, be so sick and have absolutely no control over it. That's so unfair.
You make me feel alive.
And you see how they're so strong and how they smile. That's one of the things that keeps me going. You get to see them smile.
Try to give them some light so they can see Birmingham, what it looks like at night.
The stage has always been in Enrique's blood. His father, Julio Iglesias, was the most popular Latin singer in the world. On May 8, 1975, Julio and his wife Isabel welcomed their youngest of 3 children, Enrique Miguel. When Enrique was 3, his parents divorced amicably, and the children lived with their mother in Madrid.
I had a great childhood. It was great until I was 8 years old. I mean, it was tough because my grandfather got kidnapped. that was pretty horrifying time.
Enrique's grandfather was abducted by a Spanish terrorist organization and held for ransom.
It was very scary because he was actually kidnapped for like over a month.
Enrique's grandfather was returned alive, but the incident changed the family forever.
Suddenly I was surrounded by policemen constantly. I would have 2-3 bodyguards. I remember it was chaotic, it was crazy. My life completely changed.
For their safety, Enrique and his brother Julio Jr. soon moved to Miami to live with their father.
It took me about a year to adjust. Starting over in a new school, new language, just leaving your friends and your mom and your sisters behind wasn't easy when you're 8 years old.
To make matters worse, Enrique's father was rarely home.
Hello, I'm Julio Iglesias and you are watching VIDEO0012.
Julio was an international, global sensation, and he was touring, doing about 200 shows a year. So he was constantly on the road, and his focus really was his career.
I will be dishonest telling you that my children are more important in my life than my profession. God gives me the gift that I have to continue to sing and to go place to place.
We didn't have the type of parents that took you to the ball game. You know, we grew up with our nanny. She's like our second mother. You know, my father was traveling all over the world, touring. Those were the years when he was like home like in 2 days a year.
A lot of people always ask, do you feel bad that your dad wasn't able to take you to school every day? And I always think, I go, no, because I never looked at it that way. I wouldn't change anything. My father was great. He loves his career. He probably loves his career more than anything, but I understand.
This is Enrique, who likes girls like crazy.
Unlike his father, young Enrique shied away from the spotlight.
He was that shy, nerdy kid. His brother got all the girls.
I wasn't the most outgoing guy in school, not even close. I was just average.
It was hard for him to communicate to the girls.
I wasn't very open when it came down to talking about my feelings, and through music I could actually talk about things that I would never be able to talk to someone face to face. At the age of 13, I started to try to write songs.
That's where he focused his energy. Whatever he couldn't say out loud, he wrote it down. His music was his escape.
When I wrote what I felt was the first complete song. I felt so satisfied. I felt complete. I felt so happy.
Enrique knew exactly what he wanted to do with the rest of his life, but the introverted teenager kept his desire to himself.
One day when I was with Enrique in music class in high school, I kind of looked at him with this face like, you want to do this, don't you? You want to sing. He's like, no. I'm like, I know you perfectly. You want to sing. He's like, don't tell that to anyone.
On the sly, Enrique borrowed $1,200 from his nanny and recorded a demo of his own songs. He didn't want to ride his father's coattails, so he secretly shopped around his demo under the name Enrique Martinez. The headstrong teenager was determined to make it and to do it on his own.
He did not want anyone to think of him because of his father. He wanted to write his songs, produce it well, and then present it to everyone once it was done right.
Growing up with a father like mine, you know, he was a big star. Sold a lot of albums and sold many, many tickets around the world. That was my point of reference, my comparison. The way I looked at it was, okay, if I'm going into this, I gotta get to that level or even better.
Coming up, Enrique can only hide from his dad for so long.
He was afraid. You know, he didn't want like my father to know.
I remember getting a call from my father saying, what the have you done?
And later, heartthrob meets knockout.
She's hot. Holy she's really hot.
You know we have a sex scene in the car? We have a sex scene in the car?
When Behind the Music continues.
Behind the Music is sponsored by